How do we know about climate change? How do we know about ozone depletion? How do we know how many parts per million of the pollutants in the smog of 1970 and today? We know it from good science. Well, we have a scientist now here, a wonderful man, a dear friend, Dr. Josh Fisher. He's a climate scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab at the California Institute of Technology. Welcome, please, Dr. Josh Fisher. Come on up here. Thank you, buddy.
Is it working now? All right. Yeah, thank you. So I'm Josh. I'm a climate scientist at NASA JPL. I want to talk to you a little bit about what we're looking at in terms of climate science on the front lines with satellites, with models, with field campaigns. The climate of Earth has changed ever since the beginning of Earth, right? The temperature goes up and down, and climate scientists, we try to figure out why and what are the impacts that the Earth's temperature kind of wavers between, right? And this is kind of natural, and we figured this out from a scientific standpoint. But recently, we've stepped outside those bounds, and we've stepped way outside those bounds. We're about to exceed a threshold in which we've termed dangerous climate change, and it's going to go past that. It's likely to go past a temperature we haven't seen on Earth for hundreds of thousands of years. We love to burn stuff. We love to create fire. It gives us warmth. It gives us light. It makes us more powerful. It makes our swords stronger. It makes our cars faster. Oil that took millions of years to form, but we're getting rid of in a couple hundred years. But it's not like it disappears when we burn it. As you see the smoke go up to the sky, we also are sending up CO2. And it's not just CO2, we're sending up methane, we're sending up N2, all other potent greenhouse gases. Methane being a really important one as well. There's a ton of it locked beneath the permafrost in the Arctic, and that permafrost is thawing back, and that's a critical tipping point. At NASA, we have this big airborne campaign trying to detect that critical tipping point, and we're gearing up to launch this ground invasion of scientists to get a hold on the situation. So NASA's on it, and we've got satellites we're launching, we're covering the oceans, we're covering the land, we're covering the atmosphere. So what are all these gases doing up there? We're jamming greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, and basically they're acting like blankets on the Earth, which is a good thing, right? Because you'd be cold at night without a blanket. But when you start stacking up blankets upon blankets upon blankets so high that it goes beyond your ceiling, you're going to overheat, you're going to suffocate, and that's basically what we're doing to planet Earth. So we're trapping all this heat in the system, and what is that doing? We're raising sea level, we're losing forests, we're destroying biodiversity. Animals are already dissolving in the ocean because the ocean is becoming too acidic. We're accelerating the hydrological cycle, right? So with all this energy, where is it going? What's it doing? It takes energy to evaporate water, so we're evaporating more water. But the atmosphere can't hold all that water. So it's dumping down in crazy amounts, and it's just emptying the water down where there's already a lot of rain. And places that don't get a lot of rain aren't getting much at all. So you've got more intense storms and more intense droughts. And we're seeing this close to home. 05 Katrina, Hurricane Irene, Superstorm Sandy, it's hitting us. The biggest drought in US Midwest history since the Dust Bowl in 2011. Next year, even worse. That was last year. Killed the crops, lowered GDP, fires in Colorado. So that's the science, right? That's the science. But there are solutions, which we've heard about. There are renewable energy solutions that don't have the emissions. They just need implementation. And the fact of the matter is that the science always wins. Right, the science always wins. No matter what you hear, the science always wins. And I know you're with me on the science, right? So we will win. We will win. You and me. All right. But the thing is, we don't have a lot of time. It took hundreds of years for that to take hold. There was a strong enemy against that. Climate science will win in the end. But whether or not the planet can wait for us is another matter. So the world is in your hands. Regardless of what President Obama does, regardless of what your politicians do, the world is in your hand. The fate of the planet is in our hands. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Well done.